Hello, my name is Pedro. I'm the Oregon Regional Coordinator for Kabataan Alliance and the President of Portland State University's PSU Kaibigan, a Filipino-American student association at Portland State. This July, I went on Kabataan Alliance's summer immersion trip and went to the Philippines for the first time in my life. I integrated with the Filipino youth in the Cordillera region of Benguet and also in the National Capital region in Manila. In both areas, the youth shared about how the government, through the National Task Force to End Local Communist Armed Conflict, or the NTF-LCAC, harassed and surveilled them. They told us stories of how the names of students, their faces, and the logos of their organizations were plastered on tarpaulins and hung around their cities, falsely accusing them of being terrorists in their own neighborhoods and schools. They spoke of how state forces surveilled the youth, followed them home from rallies and protests just like these, threatening and intimidating family members to push their children not to organize, and by falsely accusing them of being terrorists to their own families. As a fellow youth activist and organizers, the stories I heard from youth just like me, from youth even younger than me, some opened my eyes to the true reality of the human rights situation in the Philippines. Despite this, the youth continue to organize and resist the reactionary state. In spite of fear, in spite of suppression, they continue to organize in their schools, their universities, and their communities. We know that the Philippine government and their gross violation of human rights and their continued suppression and surveillance is backed by the US government, backed by our US tax dollars that go abroad to suppress the growing people's movement and to silence the people who uncover and expose the truth, people like Copeland. We see the parallels of the increased surveillance and growing suppression in our schools, both across the nation and locally. At Portland State, like schools across the country, our tuition dollars are going towards things such as the arming of campus police, into programs that feed the youth into the US war machine, and to increase surveillance of student activists. This happens instead of money going towards our student services and our classrooms, towards student clubs just like mine. Students, staff, and faculty who have been fighting for their rights are being targeted by the university. The people have a right to resist, to defend people's struggle, and to fight for genuine human rights in the Philippines. So let's unite as youth and students, workers, people of faith, migrants, and all people who crave a world where people's rights are respected, to leave today invigorated, to strengthen our fight. Let us answer the aspirations of the Filipino people, the Filipino youth, in their fight for a better future. Instead of investing in wars and surveillance abroad, our US tax dollars should be going towards health and housing. For us as the youth, our tax dollars and tuition should be going towards measures that guarantee, protect, and invest in our futures, rather than recklessly jeopardize it. We demand that Senator Merkley champion the Philippine Human Rights Act in the Senate, and as chair of Foreign Relations Committee, has the power to do so. He should investigate and release the reason for Copeland's blacklisted status, and investigate how many more of his constituents are also blacklisted, yet may not know it. He, as our representative, should advocate for his constituents and condemn the unjust blacklisting and suppression of Copeland and other human rights defenders. We Filipino youth call for the allocation of federal budget for education and other social services over surveillance and military aid to the Philippines. We call on Senator Merkley to condemn the targeting of Copeland and other human rights activists, to advocate for the removal from the blacklisting, and yes, to support the Filipino people in our genuine fight for a better society and future. Thank you.
Thank you, Pedro. I think many of you know this chant. This means dare to struggle, do not be